I remember when I was younger, I used to dream, I used to hope to the day I finally made six figures, $100,000. I knew I would be set. I knew I would be rich and I would never look back until I finally made 100,000. Yeah, it wasn't all cracked up to what it seemed to be. So the first time I ever made $100,000 in a 12-month period was, I believe, in 2018. I probably could have made it before, but the only time I can actually document it on paper. So in this video, I'm going to take you on the process because I don't know who's watching this. Somebody can be younger that never ever made six figures before. And I want to give you guys some game on what I did to be able to achieve it, and also probably some gems on what I would have done different to save more money or to invest more money. So with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose in the sky. Black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose in the sky. Black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose in the sky.
Welcome back, beautiful people. I'm Lando, success, your favorite motivational teacher. The goal is, whenever you come to my page, to leave knowing something that you didn't know before you came here. Now we have to do some housekeeping real quick since I'm about to give y'all some game. All I ask is for one thing in return, and that is for you to press that like button, press the subscribe button to help out the YouTube algorithm. And the question of today's video is, if you ever made six figures before, when did you make it and what did you learn in the process? Leave it in the comments. And if you never made it, when do you expect to make six figures? And what are you going to do to achieve it? Let me know in the comments. I actually respond to every single one of them. I like to get a good thing of interaction going. So when I was younger, I used to do a lot of network marketing. So I used to be around people that was self-made millionaires that grew up with no type of money, but was able to do sales, do recruiting, and build up a strong network of people and be able to make a lot of money. So I didn't even think of a million. I'm like, okay, I'll be able to make a million. But if I can just make 100,000, because back when I was younger, that was the thing. Now, I don't know right now if the younger generation care about six figures or if they looking for 250,000 or a million. But back then, that was the mark for me. So in 2018, I still had my job. I was a flight attendant. I was making, I believe in 2018, I made 34,000. But we're just going to round it down and just say I made $30,000 a year as a flight attendant. Now, my next income was a transporter, where I transported RVs from straight trucks to all type of different vehicles around the world. And that year, I believe I made 64,000 or 67,000, but we're just going to round it down again and say I made 60,000. So we're at 90,000 just with those two opportunities. One was a job, one was my business, and a third was my investment. I went in with a few other friends to invest in a crash pad. It's basically an apartment or a home where you put up a lot of different flight attendants. So technically you can have 10 people, 15 people, depending on how you set it up, all living in one home, and they're basically paying you every single month. So on my crash pad, the highest I ever had was 14 people in at once, but that was crazy. Then I lowered it down to the average of 8 to 10 people. Now, just doing the numbers off top, I was grossing probably about $2,500 every single month. But after paying bills and splitting it up, let's say I just made $10,000, right? So that is $100,000 within 3 different opportunities. So it actually don't sound as hard as it actually is, right? So the first thing I noticed when I made six figures, well, I actually didn't even notice until I filed my taxes, because nothing really changed. It's not like you walk into a store and, confetti go off and everybody starts celebrating like, oh my God, you made six figures. That actually don't happen. Nothing really changes. You just go through the process, and most people still live check to check. So you don't feel like you're actually making more money. And we all heard the cliche saying, when you make more money, you're just going to spend more money. I heard that my whole life, but I actually started living it, and it was weird. So this is the situation, right? So if I was to go to the casino, because I like to go to casino and gamble, right? I would usually go in making sure I don't spend no more than $100, $200 at the most, just to go in, have some fun, and try to leave and make some money. But now, since I had more money, it went from $100 kind of to like $400 when I would go in and do it. The next thing is, if I want to go drink and want to party, have fun, back in the day, I used to just get a bottle of some Hennessy or whatever it is. But now we can get 1942. We can get this more expensive bottle. So it went from a $40 bottle to like $100 bottle. So everything I was doing before, I just upped it. So even when I would go on a vacation back in the day, me and my best friend would go on vacation and we would only bring $500 because that's all we needed for spending money, because we knew how to have fun on a budget. But now, let's get the booth. Now we can bring $5,000. Now we can bring $3,000. So with me doing that, I technically didn't save any more money. Just my lifestyle was just not better, but I don't know, you can say better. So going back, that was the first thing I learned. I basically made more money, so I spent more money. And that was the worst thing I could have done, because you feel like you're making the same amount of money when you was making $40,000 a year versus $100,000 a year, because your bank account don't change. So knowing what I know now, I completely would have had a system where I am saving at least 10 to 20% of all of my money, literally putting it to the side. So if I'm making $100,000 a year, my bills didn't really get any higher. So I'm going to be saving at least $20,000 just over here, and probably taking $10,000 into investments such as stocks or crypto, whatever you like to invest in. The second thing I noticed, which most people absolutely hate, when you make more money, you have to pay more money in taxes. I remember when I made that 60 something thousand, that was on a 1099. My whole life I was making, I was working for a job making regular income, and taxes came out. But that first time when you made $60,000 and you knew they didn't take taxes, but you didn't know exactly how it worked, then, your IRS say, hey, you owe $7,000 and I need my money not right now, but right now. So I definitely had to learn a lesson about that. And it's still hard being able to manage your money and put money to the side to be able to pay it off. Then you can set a payment plan. So it's a whole different process whenever you do that. So the second thing I would have done was had a reserve and completely put money to the side, whether it's in the stock market, wherever I put it to the side at. But basically, when it's time to pay your taxes, you can have the money right there and you don't have to set up a payment plan. So the third thing of advice that I have absolutely for you is, if it's your goal to be able to make six figures, you can completely do it with the skills, well, at least with the job you have right now. You probably need to gain more skills. So for example, look at what I did. My job was making $30,000 a year. So I was $70,000 short. But what I did was start driving trucks and transporting all around the world. Since I had free flight benefits, so my job was paying me $30,000, but at least I had free flight benefits. So I'm like, yo, if I can use these flight benefits to pick up all of these units, I can still technically make more money. So I used my $30,000 job to be able to double my income outside of it, making $60,000. And look how I flipped it in a full circle. Since I had more money, I was able to invest, and I invest into a crash pad. The reason I was able to invest in a crash pad is because of my $30,000 job. Even though the job didn't pay a lot, I was a smart person that knew flight attendants and pilots needed places to stay. So why not provide them with a place to stay whenever a new base opened up? Now, realistically, I probably could have turned that well into a six-figure business because it was profitable. I was good at it. Just long term, I didn't have the aspirations to completely keep on doing it because it's a lot of drama inside of running a place when you have 10 individuals. You have men, you have women, you got some gay people. The turn up is real. So you have to have a lot of rules. I only can imagine having those in different states. And also when the pandemic started happening, people started quitting and leaving the airlines. So I went from making money every single month to actually paying out money. Once I did that, like 2 or 3 months, I'm like, no, it's time to shut that down. So the third thing is basically use something that you already have and be able to build around it. Let's say if you just work at a hotel, you're working at a hotel making $30,000 a year, but at the hotel, you are running into guests that need to rent out your venue to be able to get married. What if you have a camera and you can be their videographer? You can be the person that take pictures for their wedding. Yo, do you guys need a bartender? I'm actually certified as a bartender. So it's a lot of different ways you can think of. No matter what type of job you have, you can implement some type of hustle to make more money outside of your job. You just have to brush up on your skills and look at different skills that you can take to get certified. Only cost you a few $100s, a few $1,000s, where you can generate so much more profit in the long term. So I didn't want to take too much of y'all time. I just wanted to give y'all some game on a process, because you can completely do it. Just put your mind to it, write it out, come out with a goal, how you want to do it. But when you start making more money, you have to be a lot smarter. Let me know in the comments, what's your thoughts? I want to know from the younger people also, is 6 figures the like goal to be able to make, or what is the realistic goal you guys would like to make? Let me know in the comments. You can look in the description if you guys want some free stocks, if you want some free crypto. I have all different type of links out there. And also, do not forget, come in closer. Come on in. There we go. Just right there. Press that like button, press that subscribe button. I'm Lando Sess. I will talk to you beautiful people later, and I'm out.
Black boy, you can fly. Black rose, black rose. Black rose, black rose, black rose in the sky. Black rose.